Welcome back to the studio. It's Tracy Treese, and this time we're going over podcast hosting platforms. So I'm only going to endorse one here. Yes, there are many that you can use to get you to the same place. Um, but this specific one I'm suggesting because you can grow, as well as they're in a good spot with the features that they have right now. So this one's called Resonate. And if for those of you who don't know what a podcasting hosting platform is, it's the place where all of your podcast audio lives. It's also how it gets to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, all these different podcast networks or platforms, rather, not networks, but platforms where people listen to podcasts. Your podcasting hosting platform talks to that and says, hey, she's got a new episode up. He's got a new episode up. And it shoots it to all of those different places and makes it available for people. So this is a very important part. And I suggest you use one that's not a free option for many reasons. I love Anchor. Anchor is awesome. Anchor has been helping the podcasting community forever, and they've actually reduced the barriers to starting a podcast. So more people have the voice to start a podcast. I love that mission. I always love that mission, and I'll never be not about that mission. The one thing with using those free apps though is that you don't get the analytics that you need. They're a lot of the time selling your information, and you really don't have control over what ads go into where for monetization purposes. So yes, the free options will get you out there. They'll get you started. They'll get you a website. They'll do all these things. But if you really want to build a business around it, you're going to have to invest some money into the hosting platform, so that one, you can have control over a lot more things, but two, you can actually know who's listening and market to those people and build your business around it. So I'm suggesting Resonate. I am an affiliate of this, so I do get paid when you actually sign up for it, but there's also value in that because I work very closely with their software team. So if you have any issues, more than likely I can not help with them personally, but I've encountered them. And or like I'm an actual person that you know who's in contact with the people who are actually building this program. So there's value in that. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the features that Resonate has that I really love. One-click publishing. Most people have this. You just tell it what date that you want it to publish, and you upload the audio, and you're done. That's it. That's seriously it. And if you mess up one week and you want to backdate, you can actually post to it using that old episode date, and it will post in the store as if you were there. So if you need to double up your episodes, you can throw 3 or 4 of them in there in weeks that you've missed, which is what I'll do because I've been working on this for a couple weeks. When I get back to my podcast with the pod, I'm just going to update like 3 or 4 episodes and put the back dates on there. So for new people, it doesn't seem like I went on a break, even though I took a little bit of a hiatus so that I could work on this content for you. All right. Moving forward, the insights dashboard is phenomenal. You need to know who's listening, where they're listening at, because it matters for marketing as well. You need to know what countries you want to market to, where most of your listeners are. A lot of these demographics get deep into household because Spotify has a lot of that demographic information that was once only held by places like Nielsen. So you want to know. You want to know so that you can grow and so that you know if you're hitting the target market that you want. And you can monitor your listens, grow your audience organically that way, right? It also has a Resonate player. So if you have a website or anywhere you want to embed that, you can embed your website right into your business unit, which is really important for people who already own businesses who are successful and want to add podcasting as another arm of that business. Add the player to your website somewhere near the top, somewhere near a page that gets some, listens. Hey, check me out on my pod, especially for consultants and all that. It definitely gives you your boost your engagement and gets new listeners because they weren't even there for that. And they're like, wow, she has a podcast. I'm just going to press play. So awesome way to do that there. I went over it, posts everywhere. There's not a place that it doesn't distribute at this point. It's good to be on all of them because people just have their choices. I read an article on Pod News that says Stitcher's the top podcasting hosting platform. And I'm like, Stitcher? People are listening on Stitcher, but my boss listens on Stitcher in 1.75 times. And he has everything set up how he needs it to and likes it to. A lot of people have iHeart because of subscriptions that they have, or Apple because it's easier for them to use it on their phone. I like Spotify, but I've started listening to podcasts and other apps because all of my music is in Spotify. So now if I have a Stitcher membership, I can just go there and curate my podcast how I like. Love it, love it, love it. So that's there for that. Also, Resonate allows you to manage your podcast ads. Okay. A lot of the other ones won't give you the option to even upload your ads. If you already have a marketing business and you're going to add podcasting as just like a freebie, or you as a supplement to your YouTube, you can upload ads that you already have, ad reads that you already have, excuse me, and then upload them dynamically into your episode. So you upload the audio, you set a time marker and say, hey, I want my mid-roll to start 30 minutes into my episode. And then you can drop whatever audio that is in there dynamically. So after 30 days, you can switch. If you got a hot episode that people are always going back to, you can switch advertisers and really control how many ads are in your podcast. It's just a thing that I do for work on a large scale, but this is one of the only softwares where regular people like us have access to it without being a large podcast publisher at this point. Easy migration. So if you're already in a podcast network, you can actually just reach out to their support team and they'll help you migrate it. So if you started in Anchor, but you're getting serious now, you've got a lot of episodes and you want to do something more aggressively and build and grow your business, you could always do that. Switch from whatever platform that you're using before, Bcast or Megaphone. You would probably never switch from Megaphone. That's a good one. But that's for larger publishers as well. So people who are big like Spotify and all that. But you can switch from wherever. It's private hosting. You own 100% of everything. So that's another good reason to keep it there. Here is the pricing for their services. And I would, let me see, podcast microsite. For people, you can start with the basic 25. This is for people who are moving from a Anchor kind of a thing. But if you're moving from like Podbean or something that was a podcast platform, I would just go for the premium, because then you have the podcast microsite and then the dynamic ad insertion. If you don't have any ads right now and you don't know how you're going to get ads, keep the basic one and then you can just update whenever you're ready. But if you have a back catalog and you know for sure you're going to throw some ads in there, just go ahead and do the $50 a month package right now. That's pretty much it on the hosting platform part. Another part that I really want to focus on here is services past that. So as I'm looking at this drop down menu, I see that they've got tons of things that they offer. You can actually hire a podcast producer right inside of here. You can actually hire somebody to help you launch your podcast right inside of here, help you with your video right inside of here. So after you take this course, you start on your way and say it becomes to be too much for you to manage editing, uploading your audio and getting your weekly stuff done there, and you could really benefit from a producer. You don't have to go out and look for one. There's one built into your platform, and of course it's offered as an additional fee, but this is a one-stop shop service for people who really just need help with podcasting. I'm always not available to help you with little things like RSS feeds and all those nerdy techie things that you might need help with. And they have a team of people that you can just invest a little bit of money in, and you can trust their support and their guidance there. So Resonate right now is killing it, knocking it out of the park. Okay. I suggest you use Resonate, migrate from wherever you are. And then you could have your podcast everywhere, host it, and have the means to add the ads once it's time for that, which will be soon, because we're planning to make money from the beginning. Thank you for tuning in to this section. The next part is going to be on your weekly publishing checklist, and this basically just goes over all the things that you're going to need every single week in order to publish and to publicize your podcast. So making sure people on social media and all that are getting it. Thanks again for being in the studio. This is Tracy Treese, and I'll see you in your next module.